Hello, I'm back. We're talking more about ADHD. God. All right, y'all ready? And yes, I picked this filter for a reason. It's a curse and a blessing in my experience to have ADHD. But managing it is just half the battle. Right? Come on. All right. What does ADHD look like? Let's think about that. You may be asking yourself, does my child have ADHD? Does my child? Though there is a wealth of information available from social media, Google, and friends with kids who have the disorder, knowing the official signs according to the DSM-5 could help you identify it in your child or even yourself. That's my story. My child was diagnosed with it, and learning to parent her based on her needs through therapy and behavioral specialists, I learned about myself. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many other people that has happened to, but it's something else. So predominantly inattentive ADHD. We're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. Woo! You ready? So, predominantly inattentive ADHD is as follows. The child or person often makes careless mistakes in schoolwork or at work. And notice it said often. So this is about making mistakes often. Often has difficulty maintaining attention in task or at play. Sound familiar? Come on now. Often does not seem to listen when spoken to directly. I know you know some adults like that too. Yeah, I know. It's a group of people out there that experience folks like me as probably we talk out of our turn. We're impatient. We don't listen. Like all of this, I can imagine it feels like we're sabotaging on purpose. We're doing it to just create chaos. No. I never wanted to not fit in. I never wanted to stand out for negative reasons. Yeah, this is just what you would call symptoms. That's what that is. Often will start but does not finish schoolwork, chores, or work tasks. Sounds familiar? Often has difficulty staying organized and maintaining time management. That's me all day long. But I have a lot of different things I use to assist me to not struggle with this every day. Because if I don't practice what I do, time management is a wrap. I'm 10 minutes late everywhere. Period. Got to be intentional if you want your life to be a certain way, not accidental. Often tries to avoid homework. That was definitely me. I didn't like homework. Reports or completing forms. Yeah, that's me too. Business paperwork, I'm cringing as soon as I see the stack of papers. Like, I got so many other things I'd rather be doing than this paperwork. But I know how to do the paperwork. Aha. Yeah, we ain't got to like being responsible. You just got to know how to do it effectively. Stick with me. Often loses things. That's a grand one for people that have unique brains. Losing things all the time because we'll forget where we put something down if we did it mindlessly. Oh, we could be a hot mess now. Come on now. Is often easily distracted all day long. I remember trying to go to sleep and I'm counting how many times the faucet drips. 1, 2. Counting. Wishing that it would just stop. Is often forgetful all day long. I do certain things though to help me with my forgetfulness. What do you do? Now, that was predominantly inattentive ADHD. This is predominantly hyperactive, impulsive. So let me say that again. Hyperactivity, impulsivity. This pronunciation thing is annoying. So here's the symptoms of that. So for someone that has ADHD who's hyperactive and impulsive, often fidgets and squirms. That was me all day. Often gets up from their seat in school or during work meetings all day long. All day long, I'm fighting urges to just get up for no reason, just because I wanted to get up. Often runs or climbs when inappropriate. Adults may be restless. Yep. Often looks as if they're driven by a motor. All day long, baby. Often talks excessively. Real bad emotional tongue we have. Oh my God. And it will confuse most of the listeners. It even happens to me today. For example, if someone asks a direct question, like, why were you late today? If that's an emotional tongue, oh, I was late. My alarm, I had set it, but I forgot to turn it on. But, you know, at first I was feeling like, you know, I will get up on time. Now, this is direct. Why was you late? Because I missed the bus. That's a logical response. No, we in our feelings telling about everything we felt like, what we was feeling in that morning. Like, no. I had to learn that I do that. And that's funny, ain't it? Come on now. Often blurts out an answer before a question is finished. Definitely ADHDers. Because what's going to happen is we won't be able to hold on to that long enough to remember what we want to say when it is our turn. So usually we need to write our answers down. That's benefited me. Because I will forget it. But at least it's written down, so now I'll remember. Come on now. Often has trouble waiting their turn. Big time. Interrupts or intrudes. Often. Yeah. And that has a lot to do with the cognitive brain, or shall we say lack thereof. We're overcompensating because our brain is lacking the proper cognitive development and for that area to run and be able to develop a certain way. See, we got to work without that. And then hopefully we can get cognitive therapy, or if we have possible, I guess you could say, we can get our hands on some prescription drugs by seeing psychiatrists and them, you know, prescribing us medicine to assist with the challenges, or herbal remedies that are more natural. Everyone's different. What works for you, you know, often. Now, for a diagnosis, your child needs to exhibit 6 symptoms in one of the 2 categories. Here's the combined ADHD. If your kid has at least 6 symptoms of both inattentive ADHD and hyperactive impulsivity ADHD, they can be diagnosed with the combined type of ADHD. For adults, it's at least 5 symptoms in one category or 5 in both for the combined ADHD. How ADHD may cause problems. While it's nice to have the DSM criteria in front of you, it can be easier to understand ADHD by hearing about how these traits can cause problems in a child's life at home or school. Also, keep in mind that ADHD exists on a spectrum. You can have a mild, moderate, or severe case. This is true. My case, severe, baby. I had all 3. You understand what I'm saying? All 3. You understand how I have struggled all these years? And listen, it's no one's job to make sure I know who I am. Sure, your parents, our job is to guide our children and all that, yeah. But at the end of the day, when you meet with God, you go, well, my mom and dad ain't tell me who I was. No, that's our job. So I can't blame my parents. I got to blame me if I'm behind. I'm going to be back with more tips. I hope this helps. Knowledge is important. Be back.